16 times to the Sweet 16, his yearly visit with the Dan Patrick Show. He is Hall of Famer Tom Izzo joining us on the program. What's your schedule today?
My schedule? I got in here about 7:30 and did a little film work, answered some texts, and then talked to my staff about what we're going to do in practice. And I got a press conference in a little bit, some more staff meeting, and then practice. That's my day.
How's the voice?
It's great. Great. Get a little sleep. I got a little sleep last night for the first time. Night before, not much, but it's the same as every other coach. It's just I'm a little older than some of them.
The balance of coaching this week and the transfer portal. How do you focus on one when you need to and the other one when you need to?
Yeah, I'm putting everything towards my team. I owe them to that. I think, recruiting's very important. The transfer portal to me isn't as important yet, but recruiting is very important. And yet, my old boss used to have a theory. He says, problem with young assistants, they spend so much time getting the next player, they forget to take care of the one they got. And I think there's some validity to that. There's a happy medium. My happy medium when you get to the Sweet 16 and on is, you don't always get here. So everything's going to be for my team, the players on my team. We'll let everybody else worry about the transfer portal. Hopefully winning helps somebody, even though you and I know it doesn't. It's all about the money now, but that's okay too.
But help me with the philosophy of recruiting, because you don't have many one and dones. Like Jason Richardson was a one and done. Do you go do you try to go after the one and doners, or do you have that philosophy of, I'll take the guy who might stay here 3 or 4 years?
No, I'd love to. I have Jaron Jackson, Miles Bridges, we're guys, Gary Harris that were 1 and 2 years and done. And, you got to have some, those kind of talented players, to do that. But no, I don't shy away from that at all. It's just, they're not as easy to get, for the most part. A lot of those programs, Duke and Kentucky has had more of those kind of players, maybe Kansas some, but I don't think there's as many programs as you think there are that are getting those kind of players.
How do you coach differently in March than November?
I don't think I coach that much differently. I just think that there's kind of a culture and a feel here that when it comes to February, everybody knows the NCAA tournament. We've had some success in it. And I think the players that come here expect everything to be ratcheted up a little bit as you get to the end of the year. And it's exciting. It's not like my players, after we won on Sunday, the first thing they said in the locker room, because usually we give them Monday off, is let's practice Monday. That came from the players, so they know what time of year it is and they know what they got to do.
Is Michigan State a football school or a basketball school?
It's a football school, which I think 90% of these schools are, I have such a great relationship with all the football guys here. I've always had a great relationship with them because I realize that they're still making 70% of the money. Yeah. What I think is unique about Michigan State, and there's a couple schools that have this, is we've been pretty successful in both. 9 years ago, we both went to a Final Four. Those are what's really exciting about schools like this.
Ever coached against a coach that you don't like?
Sure, you do. Even though I get along with most of the coaches, but there's coaches I wouldn't say don't like. Maybe I didn't respect as much because of things that were going on. Now that's changed now because we don't have any rules anymore. So it doesn't, it's easier now. I can like everybody.
Okay, but if so are we talking about if somebody was cheating? Like you're going to face somebody and they were cheating.
Uh-huh.
That's when you have that, I don't respect you?
That's what I have privately. I don't share that publicly very often. But I mean.
But what's it like in the handshake line? You don't walk by and go, cheater. And then just good game, cheater. Good game.
No, I don't do that at all. I think I respect every coach I go against because even the guys that I thought were doing stuff back in the day, I know how hard these jobs are. And Judd used to say the game makes fools of us all. Well, that there's some truth to that.
When's the last time you asked Magic Johnson to help you with a recruit?
I ask him all the time, but I really don't have to ask him. He's always tweeting out something or he's saying something. And, now they're actually allowed to help you legally.
Yeah.
If you come to campus and they get there, it used to be where, if you had a football game and just happened that Magic seats were behind the recruit seat. But now you can sit them right with them as long as they're on campus. But, Magic's been great. A lot of the former players that I coached have been great with it. And it helps when you have a Jace Richardson, son of a player. That's getting good. I'm going for grandsons, though, now, Dan.
How much longer? You got these coaches who are saying, I don't want to do it anymore. It's the transfer portal, NIL, and it's just not the way it once was. So what's motivating you to continue to do this?
Stubbornness. To be honest with you, it's total stubbornness. I still love what I do. I don't like what has gone on. I don't think anybody does, to be very honest with you. And, some say it, some don't say it. But right now, I've taken a better stance with myself. For a couple of years, I was on all those committees, and I just kind of gotten off where I don't worry about my team and not worry about all the things that I can't control. And unfortunately, nobody can control what's going on right now. There is no control. That saddens me for our profession, but it is what it is. So I'll, when in Rome, do like the Romans,
It sounded like a grumpy old man get off my lawn where you were talking about playing games after 10 o'clock on the West Coast in the tournament.
I think it was grumpy. I just think it's very difficult to do that. We do, Dan. I don't know what you did at Dayton, but we do go to school here too. We are student athletes.
Yeah, we never did that at Dayton.
I know. I understand that. But when you get back at 3 a.m, now you got to prep. It's just more difficult. I understand that TV pays the bills. I love all the TV people. So I got no problem, but it does get to wear on you sitting there all day. And it's one part I'd like to see changed a little bit, but it is what it is. So I don't think I sounded grumpy about it. I just expressed my opinion, but you express your opinion all the time. Are you
and I'm grumpy.
Man?
Yes, I'm a get off my lawn guy. I think this had to do with your bedtime, and that's what you were bothered by.
No, I don't go to sleep now. Hey, listen, with the transfer portal, you don't go to sleep ever. You kind of go over and sit with your players, make sure nobody's flying in and with them.
Do you have your phone on vibrate?
Yeah.
By your bed?
Yeah.
Okay. After midnight?
Oh, yeah. All the time. You never know what's going to happen. There's a lot of things that happen, but
if you had to bail somebody out of jail or anything like that?
Have I had to in the past? There's things like that happen. Yeah. Sometimes not always for bad things, parking tickets and he gets picked up or something. But yeah, any coach that tells you they don't have their phone on at night or they sleep, probably lying to you.
Single best player you ever coached against was who?
Boy, when I was an assistant, Shaq, I played against Grant Hill, I thought was one of the greatest players. But boy, that's a loaded question. And I'm not saying that against anybody. They're just, man, when you're at this level, you play against a lot of great players.
What was the scouting report on Shaq?
Really big. I was just a GA back then. That was in my early days. And I remember telling Judd, boy, that guy's a big guy, but he was good. He was good. I like Shaq.
But who was so good was Chris Jackson.
He was.
He was
good.
Damn.
More my size, too. That's why I should like the guy a lot more.
But imagine him in today's game. He would break you off the dribble, crossover, and he was so quick with that jumper.
Yeah, and he could shoot it from long range. So he probably would fit in since the three is more prevalent now. I don't even think the three had just come in then. It was right around that time. Because I know we had Scott Skiles, and we didn't have a three-point shot then. That was in '86.
Now, help me Is the story true about Scott Skiles and John Thompson?
It was in Dayton.
Yet at the tournament, right?
Yeah, there was nothing bad with John Thompson, but they really got after him the first half. And I think Scott was 0 for 9. And I just remember that halftime. He was sitting in there, and we were playing Georgetown. And I mean, he was seething, and he played really good the second half. We won. So, Scott had a tendency to talk stuff, but tell you what, he was a hell of a player.
Did he say to Thompson while dribbling the ball to John on the sidelines, why don't you get somebody bleeping out here who can guard me?
Did he guard me?
Yes.
I didn't hear it. I heard about it, but I do believe it. It was one of the things that Scott was good at, but he backed up what he said. So you got to give him credit there.
Great to talk to you again. I'll talk to you next year at this time. All right.
You and I still going to be here?
I will be.
Well, you going to be in a transfer portal? Are you going somewhere else?
I got 3 more years. Do you have 3 more years?
I got 7.
You're going to be there 7 more years?
Oh, I got 7 on my contract.
Yeah, but you guys don't live up to those contracts.
Well, do you live up to yours?
Yes. I'm my boss.
You know what I'm on? Because I do enjoy you. You're crazy in your own way, but so am I. Someday when we're done, we'll play golf and get along.
I would like to play one-on-one with you in basketball.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going to slap the floor, just to let you know. I'm going to lock you down, Coach. You can bring in Steve Mariucci if you want to. I don't care.
I'll bring in Mooch.
He doesn't scare me. Mooch doesn't scare me either.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Dan, and you have a good rest of the tournament. I'll try to do the same.
All right, Coach. That's
Thanks, buddy.
Tom Izzo, Hall of Famer. They got Ole Miss, or what was it? Who called it Ole Miss? Somebody back at ESPN, their mother was in a bracket challenge, and maybe was it Phil the Show Killer's mom?
It was.
Who said, I'm going to take Ole Miss.
Ole.
Ole. Ole.